Friday Eve has arrived, and I don't know if you've checked your clocks. It's 7:15. There's two guys from the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network about to go live and talk to you about some sports. But before that happens, you know what we got to talk about. We got to talk about the lady in the lunchroom making her coffee. We got to talk about the guy filling up his Stanley, because that's what it's called now. It's a Stanley. He done upgraded, right? He had one of them regular joints, but now he got the Stanley. We got another person. We got fresh donuts today. Somebody stopped. They saw the hot sign, so we got fresh donuts today. And then we got the guy that's always running late coming in. And, they were like, why are you running late? He was like, I watched this episode this morning of the great Friday Eve show. And they was like, what's it called? What's it called? What's it called? And he was like, it's the Thursday Night Throwdown. Yeah. And that's how we started the show. Every Thursday. I don't know when we started, but it's been a staple ever since we started. Done as just me messing around. And now it's part of what we do. It's like Norm's chair and cheers, baby. No, I'm not going to start that. Man, I got myself. The Sideline Junkies Podcast Network. It's the Thursday Night Throwdown. I'm your host, the Midnight Rider. That's the big guy, KG. Yes, it's the two-man show today. We tried to get some people in, but people's schedules were busy. Jack is actually out here saving the baby right now as we speak. The boss man, he is actually delivering a baby. So that's ironic. Who else? Oh, the correspondent. He's chasing down a Deborah. I don't know if you know what a Deborah is. It's a cross between a deer and a zebra. He's chasing one of them down. We got some other people that haven't debuted yet, so I can't say their names in secrecy, but they are somewhere plotting a heist. So I can't tell you anything else about it. But what else? With that being said, we're going to talk sports today. We got hot news, hot fire from the NBA. We got, we might talk a little World Series. Not sure. We got college football games to preview. 3 of them. Not 1, not 2, but 3. And then we also have the game of the night, the Chargers and the Vikings. And with that being said, I am done waxing poetically. And I will now pass this off to the guy that is the host, the big guy, KG.
Man, ladies and gentlemen, that gentleman just was waxing poetically, as he put it. The hardest working man in podcast history, quite possibly a descendant, a relative, a child, I don't know, of James Brown, because this dude has no off switch. And I'm going to sit here and I'm going to give you your flowers, man.
Thank you, man.
Made yourself available. And when you're doing something that you love, it's easy to do it. But you've made yourself available to so many shows. And I love it. Because I'm like, I ain't got to worry, What you get ready to do? Roll over and go back to sleep? Why? Midnight Rider got it. Look, put it this way. If we had to put it in perspective, Midnight Rider is Bill Russell. I'm John Thompson. And if you don't get the reference, John Thompson was Bill Russell's backup for 2 years in the NBA. And he said the only reason why I didn't get on the floor and play much because Bill Russell never came out the damn game. And if you haven't read his autobiography, I Came as a Shadow, please go pick that up and read it. Excellent read. Perry checking in said the fuck. Now,
damn, I'm sorry, Perry. I'm sorry. You're the only person I didn't reach out to. I'm sorry.
Oh shit, you didn't. Oh God, I bit my jaw again. You didn't reach out to Perry?
Perry was. I didn't even think about it, dog.
Matter of fact, hold on, because I've been deep in the dungeon. Perry got to show up. He got to show up now, because he said Edgecombe. He said when Edgecombe scored 30 points. Hold on, because this is from Monday. Let me look at my notes here. Perry
So
back when Edgecombe scores 30. I believe that young man scored 30 his first game out the gate. 34, if I'm not mistaken.
yes, sir.
So if you don't get it, then you under 65. Come on, man.
I mean, you might be just 6'7", 6'7".
So I got the note right here. Edgecombe scored 34 in his debut. So seats open, Perry. You just say send the link and we got you. And we got some hot button topic. This hot button topic got to be addressed.
Gotta start here.
Gotta start. This is the A block. Terry Rozier, Chauncey Billups, head coach of the Portland Trailblazers. He is under arrest for gambling. All right, I got you, Perry. Just let me know. Under arrest for gambling. What was it? Poker games? I bet you got more information than I got.
I was gonna say, just go ahead and toss it over, and let the shit rip. It won't be a funky introduction of how nice I am. Tell your mother, tell your father, send a telegram. I won't get into that. But this is what's going on, dog. This case has been crazy all day, and it's got layers. It's like an ogre. It's got layers. All right. It's like onions because they have layers too, and ogres and onions both have layers. So these are two separate but intertwined cases, and this is what I mean. Terry Rozier is on the gaming side. So the Terry Rozier case is about guys fixing or giving out information before the game to sharks, to people in the mafia, so they can make bets. So they're updating them on players' injury status last minute, so they can get a bet in. That's what they're handling. All right. On the other side of it is Chauncey Billups. Now, what Chauncey Billups is doing, if you guys have ever seen the movie Molly's Game, he is linked to people that set up home poker games, right? And in this elaborate setup, these people were definitely trying not to lose any money because they had x-ray tables. They had contact lenses infrared contact lenses where you could see the markings on the card, so you know what people had in their hand or what they were dealt. What else they had? Dog, when you get your hands on what they're talking about, all this is allegedly. All right, we might even change the segment to allegedly, but what they're talking about and what's involved is basically they were scamming or cheating people out of millions of dollars with this game. And the reason it registered because there were people in the mob tied to it. All right. So both of these cases have heavy mob ties, which is why it's on the radar. Now, I'm gonna say this because I have to say this. This case doesn't happen without legalized gambling. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because what happens is, and this is the beauty, and this is why it took them so long to get it. So I think the world really played in to the FBI's hands by doing this, because you put so many restrictions and so many things that had to happen that what basically happens now is if you see like the guy Clase, the pitcher for the Indians, right? They have a thing where certain bets get pinged for like that's too much money for that type of bet, right? We've gotten too much action on this bet alone, and it's either growing because people keep betting it, so they start looking into it. So then they talk to the police, and then that's how the police or the FBI get involved. And then you ask, have you heard anything on that? So there's how that kind of starts these things. And they're watching because, again, since it's legalized, everybody can see the transactions going on. And there's algorithms that ping certain bets that are off, just out of the norm. Go ahead and read Perry's comment.
He said in the John Tate Porter case, yeah, that was
Yeah.
another case. And I'm listening to what you're saying, and when you say layers, you really mean layers, because I'm like, what the hell? How did the FBI get involved in this? But I had just seen earlier today that Classe and the other pitcher, what was his name? It's another pitcher. They banned from the World League games,
the World Baseball Classic. Yeah.
World Baseball Classic.
Yep.
Because of gambling, and I'm like, wait, what? And again, you know what else has layers? Parfait. Parfait got to be the most delicious thing in the world. I ain't never asked nobody you want parfait. They said, hell no, I don't want no damn parfait. But I digress. The way that they stack this case, and it's like, wow.
No,
I said this before.
These are just the first names.
Right. And Damon Jones is involved in this too. And
see, he's the link between the two. So Damon Jones has stuff on the Rozier type side of the case, and he also has a link to the Billups side. And I think Damon Jones really is the centerpiece to the whole thing. And I think it's like a bad gangster movie. You know, somebody does something one too many times and they fall on the radar. You know, the dude kicks his girlfriend out the house, or he gets kicked out the house in front of the police officer, and they take him in, and next thing you know, he's telling them everything about Frank Lucas and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's just and that's how it ended up. It looks like. Now I will give credit to one Gilbert Arenas, because he has put on a show today. He went on his podcast, had a brown bag, and then on the side of the brown bag, it said informant lunch. Then he posted a picture, like a first 48 picture of him eating food in like a interrogation room. Because earlier today, at the beginning of this, it was put out on Twitter that people thought that Gil was one of the people that was giving up the information.
This is crazy, man. This is absolutely crazy. Perry said the FBI been involved.
Yeah, this case goes back to 2023. So think about that. And the FBI doesn't move fast. They'll let you put layers and layers of evidence out there before they do anything. And I guarantee you there's something before that.
Yeah.
That also triggered it.
They give you enough rope to hang yourself.
Yeah. I think the one thing I want to be clear on is this case is happening because we legalized gambling, not because now we have the things that this doesn't go on in the dark. This isn't happening in some back room, you know what I'm saying? And Tony Soprano's walking in, you know what I'm saying, and handling business. This is happening because the transactions happen and we see them, or they see them. The algorithms and everything picks it up and takes all the things that look out of place and starts, backtracking. They look for everything. I mean, they have a thing now where if you just open an account and you make a very large bet on this random thing, that's getting pinged. So it's the problem is, I keep telling people, the way this gambling thing now is structured, they know what you gambled on before you even, you know what I'm saying?
This is what I said a while back. I said, once you bring in sports gambling into the sports, you put the sports books in the stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Once you did that, anybody that's ever been banned from any sport, Pete Rose, for gambling, their ban should be lifted.
I still don't believe in that. Because they were gambling. They were just calling bookies. Like, that's the only difference.
Yeah, but now you done put the bookies out of business because everything's done through an app. And the bookies sit behind a computer now and just take your bet legally. Now, Pete Rose had a picture
I'm
in front of the sports book in Cincinnati at the Red Stadium. You mean to tell me he can come in there, sit in the suite, sit in the stands, bet at the sports book, but he can't touch the field? He's the hit king. He's quite possibly one of the, I'll say, top 3 hitters. Is him, Tony Gwynn, Ted Williams. Those are the top 3 hitters of all time in my book, because all of them took it as a science. But he's the hit king. He's the only hit king that's not in the Hall of Fame. And putting him in now is a slap in the face. But
let's not dance with this devil on this level.
But his ban should have been lifted once you brought the sports books into the stadium, and you can make bets. And now players, coaches, you can make bets on sports, but just not from the team facilities.
Right. And then you can't make it on your team, or more than likely the NFL guys can't bet on the NFL. They have to have some regulations on this. And I know you're huffing and puffing, but the problem is this was going to happen no matter what.
This is why Billy Cole killed himself. That's why Billy Cole killed himself. That's why Billy Cole killed himself on the field.
Yeah.
Because he owed all that money to them bookies. See?
Right.
Gambling shouldn't be in sports. It shouldn't be able to be there for players.
But it's there. And players will, what we find now is players are using other ways to manipulate getting their bets in. So now you don't think some guy you dating Shirley, and you trying to figure out what's happening now, and you know you roll over and ask her to put a bet in for you. You know what I'm saying? It's that simple. Because now it's under her account, so people won't think it's you. Meanwhile, the address might be the same and things of that nature. Like, you're not. The problem is they keep thinking they're going to outsmart the cheaters, but they have a bunch of cheaters showing them what to look for in the cheating. So that's another part of this.
Kind of like Catch Me If You Can.
Right.
Where you took the dude that was forging checks and you brung him in and had him teach you everything about forging checks so you could catch people forging checks.
Right.
It's done. I mean, you want to stop something, you bring somebody in that's good at it. You put them on a payroll. Perry said disagree. He said bookies are not out of biz. He said disagree.
True.
Bringing the books in makes the scrutiny even bigger. And Pete still gambled. I just say we at this point right now. It's just like, but here's what I don't understand. And I'm not a gambler, so please explain it to me. How is a poker game that's rigged? How is that federal level anything having a poker game that's rigged in somebody's basement, in somebody's ballroom, whatever? How is that a federal crime?
So it's illegal to have a card game with money involved outside of a legal betting place. So if you're not in a casino and you're playing poker, you're doing something illegal. Like you go to Johnny's house down the street and y'all play y'all little $20 hand game or whatever, that's technically illegal. But because the money isn't enough, the FBI isn't going to go around and break up, you know what I'm saying, your $20 poker game, somebody's $50 poker game. They're not going to break that up. But if you have like an illegal tournament at your house without it being sanctioned, then yeah. They're like the guy, and I got to give this guy credit because he broke this down to the T today. His name is Joe Maloney. He's part of the gaming industry. His name, if it sounds familiar, he was with the Commanders about 2 or 3 years ago. And used to do stuff on the radio. But he said something to the effect of, let me make sure I can try to get this right. God, I just forgot it. come back to me and I'll try to restate it.
Okay. You just introduced me to something that I didn't know. I didn't know that that's a crime. Because
Yeah.
I mean,
So think about this. Like the games at if you ever saw Rounders, unless they had a sanctioned license, those games were illegal. So they could have gotten raided at any point in time. You go down to that
did we lose Midnight Rider?
So that game that was at
there you go.
my bad, man. My internet been tripping this week. But that game that you saw at the police station, at the police, at the lodge that the police were involved in, that was an actual illegal game from the movie Rounders. That could have been deemed illegal. Like the problem is so many places, like so many of these little pool holes and places are getting, they're getting raided, but you don't know about it because it's not making the news. It's not big enough. But some of these are getting caught up. So you got to just be careful. The whole movie, the Molly game, the reason she got caught up was because one of the guys was on an illegal wiretap. So she got brought in because they thought, like, the DA really messed that case up because they kept hearing her name. So they thought they were talking about her. This is the movie version. But what ended up really happening was they were talking about the drug Molly. So the DA ended up, in the movie having this moment where he's totally embarrassed. Yeah. So she got dropped off the case.
See here, Sideline Junkies Podcast Network. Not only will you get gambling information, but you'll get legal information as well. Because you just hit me to something. I'm just sitting here blown. Perry said dime bags versus pounds. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Because you get a slap on the wrist for dime bags, for pounds, you're going away. Now, if it was like that for crack, it'd be totally different. Because what is it in California? For every stone you got, that's what, 5 years?
Don't get me the line.
It's something like that. But that's because I could go into it. But federal law that was put in after Len Bias's death, they started instituting mandatory minimum sentences, and they got it all wrong. Because at that time, all they was doing was locking up street hustlers, but the big shit was still in the street. But anyway, I'm not gonna get into the war on drugs from '80s because I could talk about it all night. But man, this is shocking. Tiago Splitter is now the interim head coach of Portland. Right. So,
and Rozier is suspended
indefinitely.
Also. Yeah, until we get more information.
So,
like the thing about it, by Sunday, we're gonna know so much about this case that we're gonna have to do it again Sunday because there's gonna be so much that's coming out. You're gonna get more player names. Don't fret. I mean, we just ain't on Terry Rozier. Trust. There's like 34 players involved in this thing.
2 questions, and then we'll move on.
All right.
Number one, do you think Rozier, if this wraps up the way that I think it's gonna wrap up, you think he gets a lifetime ban or just a couple of years?
Yeah. Nah. I think they have to, no matter how the thing plays out, they have to live in the extremes because they have to make it so penalizing that guys don't want to do it.
Okay. And second thing, I had something else and I lost it. I don't even remember what it was. I lost it. I lost it. So
let's hit a quick break and then come back to. Oh no, go ahead, do your thing. I forgot about that. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, this is real quick, and I asked the Midnight Rider to indulge me on this real quick. The modern era has announced their candidates for the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and I just asked the Midnight Rider to, hey, just indulge me, man. Just. They always say I take and I put too many people in, but if I had to pick, looking at this class, It's a lot of guys that's on here for the first time. Marquise Pouncey, Greg Olson, Jason Witten, Larry Fitzgerald, LaShawn McCoy, Frank Gore, Drew Brees, and Phillip Rivers are all first-time candidates. But it's so many people on this list that deserve that gold jacket. And I don't know. I guess 7 to 9, including senior finalists. I guess that would be a class.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, that's more than likely.
Just being honest, I pick if I can get 5 from the modern candidates and 4 from the senior committee, I'll be fine. And my 5 would be Larry Fitzgerald, Fred Taylor, Ricky Waters. Who was I looking at? I was just looking at it. London Fletcher and Terrell Suggs. Those are my 5 from the modern era. From the senior committee, my 4 would be Roger Craig, Joe Jacoby, Steve Tasker, and L.C. Greenwood. That's your Hall of Fame class for 2026. That's the way it should be. And I would love Eli Manning should have went in last year, but he didn't. I think Eli, Ben Roethlisberger, and Phillip Rivers all should be on the same ballot because they all have comparable numbers. But that's just my opinion. So, Midnight Rider.
I'd like to thank you for sharing that with us. And I'd like to go to the next segment.
I said indulge me, man.
I did. I listened.
Killer, bro. Killer. Where's I gotta find the daggone thing, man. This is crazy. Absolutely crazy. Who's been in here messing with stuff? All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna take a break. We're gonna come back and we're gonna talk about the trio. Stay tuned.
Yo, every time I hear that theme music, woo, baby, I feel like drawing the door and kicking that thing in, baby. That is, ladies and gentlemen, the Gridiron featured here Saturday mornings at 11:30 a.m. It is the greatest fictitious college football show in the world, baby. In the world, Craig. In the world, Craig. With that being said, we're now about to take you through the trio. Get you going through that. It's 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 college football games for this weekend. It's our highest rated games. That's how we break it down. We want to give you the most entertaining, so that way we can entertain the millions
and millions.
Let's go. Take it away, host. KG, baby.
All right. You got first game up. Ole Miss at Oklahoma. Now, talk to me like I don't know what I'm talking about. Because Ole Miss, and I keep forgetting the rankings. I need to put the rankings in here. But Ole Miss versus Oklahoma. This is
I think this is like 9 versus 13 or something like
8
that.
8 versus 13. Ole Miss is 8. Oklahoma's 13. So these are 2 playoff teams. Playoffs?
For now.
Fighting against each other. Now, Ole Miss took an L last week, 43-35, losing to Georgia. Midnight Rider, do they rebound in Oklahoma to keep their playoff hopes alive.
Yes. And I mean, I was going to give you something better, but I thought I had to burp. But yeah, this game, Trinidad, Chambliss, I think their running back's name is Lacey, if that memory serves me correctly. I tell you, these names don't stick in the brain like they used to, boy. But I think Ole Miss will run the ball with their dynamic offense. I think they're going to make it tough. I know John Mateer for Oklahoma is still coming off of that thumb injury. Of course, he's another week away from the thumb being broken and healing. But I know he's supposed to play. They struggled against Texas, and I think if they struggle against Texas, I think they're going to struggle against Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss runs away with this a little bit. I think this becomes like a 35-17 ball game because Ole Miss offense don't miss. And I don't remember Oklahoma's defense being that good this year. Like they've struggled on the defensive side for the last couple of years. And if I'm wrong, please jump in the comments, tell me I'm wrong. But I'm going off of memory, and this memory's on. We got 49 years of deposits in this memory, so it don't work like it used to.
Ain't a thing wrong with that. So you picking Ole Miss in this one?
Mm-hmm.
And I believe the score was 35-17?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm gonna have to take your advice on that. And if this is 20 years ago, I'd have said Oklahoma in a landslide. Nobody's beating Oklahoma.
Yeah, but
I just had so much faith in Oklahoma, but
yeah. I mean, this has been a struggle, but the one thing they did uncover is this kid, John Mateer. I think he was a starter at Washington State, if memory serves me correctly. And, you know, the transfers this year have been crucial. You have Mateer transferring into Oklahoma, doing damage. You had the Mendoza kid transferring out of Cal into Indiana, making Indiana all-world. And I don't know what they doing. They got to go ahead. I know Indiana just locked up Signetti for 9 more years. They might as well go ahead and put the statue on the campus because I've never in my life seen Indiana ranked number 2 in football. Like that Kirk Signetti statue might need to go up like tomorrow. Like I don't even care what he does the rest of his career. He could go 0-14 4 straight years. It's just nothing else that you can do to top what this man has done. The fact that we live in a world where Vanderbilt's 11, Indiana's 2.
Vandy's 10.
Oh, okay. Even better. That's crazy. Crazy. 6-7.
I'm gonna tell you this. You brought up a really, really good point. Indiana number 2 in football. Vandy 10. I remember Vandy and it was Vanderbilt. Notre Dame used to run over when I saw Vanderbilt on the schedule. When I'm not so sure about that now. This is not your daddy's Vanderbilt. This ain't your granddaddy's Vanderbilt. This is something different.
So I think I'll give her credit for saying this that first because she said it on Tuesday night show. Showtime Sarah said that I think Vanderbilt hasn't been ranked this high since like 1947. It's crazy. 6-7.
Speaking of which, Mizzou, number 15, Mizzou comes in to take on number 10, Vandy on Saturday. Vanderbilt beat Auburn last week, 23-17. And that's another team. Auburn wasn't ranked.
Yeah, but Auburn's a tough out.
Yes.
Auburn's got enough in the holster that they can put up a good fight. They just can't get over the hump. So you think of that. What was that? There's like a parable or some kind of legend of the guy pushing the rock up the hill, but he can never get it over the hill. That's how Auburn football is right now. They can push the rock. They just can't get over that hump to get the rock out of that ditch.
Now, we're talking about Missouri. Missouri in the conference right now is 2-1. Mm-hmm. They are 6th in the conference. behind Texas A&M, who we'll talk about later, Alabama, Georgia, Ole Miss, who we just talked about, and Texas. And Oklahoma's right behind them. So this is a conference game. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, and Vandy is behind them. This is a conference game. So you got 2 conference games we just covered. So this is all for seeding. And geez, right now it's looking like Texas A&M and Alabama for the championship, but that all can change. We got weeks ago. Midnight Ride, Mizzou at Vandy. What you got?
I like this matchup. I don't know if you saw us the other night, but between Coach Robeson, Jack Carr, and myself, and our picks for our top 5 quarterbacks, Diego Pavia was one of those guys on everybody's list. I can't remember which spots he was in everybody's list, but I think he may have been 5 on mine, 4 on coaches, and either 4 or 5 on Jack's. But the kid's a baller, man. I keep telling people all the time. I mean, there's one thing I think about this kid. When I think about him, it's the word moxie, man. He's got all the moxie in the world. He brings this swag. Now the only problem is he like 35 and he got a wife and 4 kids and a mortgage, but he's still eligible to play college football somehow. Because let's not forget he won a legendary case where he was able to take his time at the JUCO and not have that count against his eligibility. So he's got like 2 extra years that he can actually play because of this ruling. This dude will probably graduate at 40, you know what I'm saying? Collect a pension, go work at State Farm. I don't know. It's just, the dude is just old, man. But he's one of those guys that everybody will rally around and play behind. Mizzou is going to be feisty. They're going to fight. They got a decent defense, a solid run game, but I mean, you gotta believe in Pavia, man. You gotta let that kid like he's like when you think of like what's that joint when Arclay says I can believe I can fly, he makes his teammates believe that they can fly. Like they ain't got no wings or nothing, but they believe that much in that man. And when you got a quarterback like that, that's he's still accurate. He's got a good arm. I wouldn't say a strong arm, but he's got a good arm, and the troops rally behind him. What more do you want?
Wow. So, are you rolling with Vandy this week at home?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I said so much about Vandy, I forgot to pick him. Yeah, I got Vandy. I'm going to say this is going to be a close game because Mizzou doesn't really get blown out. I'm going to say 27-23.
Bomb burner. Next up, we've been all SEC tonight. I noticed that. All the big games in the SEC this weekend.
When you have like 9 ranked teams, sheesh. Yeah.
Now, we were talking about playoffs. Mizzou's on the outside looking in. Vandy's 10, Mizzou's 15.
Mm-hmm.
You still got a chance. What you say, Lloyd Christmas? You telling me there's a chance? There's a chance.
There's a chance.
Now, what's crazy is
her name was Mary Swanson. No, something else. Samsonite. I'm sorry.
The thing is, teams can fall, teams can tumble, and aren't they supposed to be going to 16 teams for the playoff?
Let's how do I want to term this? Yes, I'll keep it simple because I think the way the problem is going to be how it's structured because the Big Ten and the SEC are pushing because their conferences are so heavy that they should have guaranteed number of spots available to them. I don't know if you saw there was an article today somewhere that I think it was on the Bleacher Report. It wasn't in it was in the Athletic because I couldn't read it. And it was talking about how SEC losses are way more than other conference losses. And I think the committees, because there's so much money in the SEC, I think the committee will be convinced of that, and I think we'll have some level of like guaranteed spots for the SEC and for the Big Ten, and then the rest goes to everybody else because that's where your money is right now, and you don't mess with the money.
Well, I'm the one to mess with the money, and what I say is, some of you big name schools go independent. You'll make more money by yourself.
You won't have that because the structure, the
No,
way they
it's
want to
not.
structure this is, I think, at some point Notre Dame's gonna, in the next 3 to 5 years, I'll say it now, Notre Dame's gonna have to be in a conference. They're gonna have to.
Because I think we're down to only 2 independent teams right now, and we used to have 6 to 7. You used to have the service academies as independent, Notre Dame, all of that. But then they talked about Notre Dame joining the ACC. No, it was the Big East first. Once the original OG Big East folded, they talked about them moving into the ACC and having them take an ACC schedule. And I was like, why are we taking the ACC schedule? We have enough rivalry games. We don't have to take a conference schedule. Having a conference schedule for Notre Dame, and I'm sorry to be off topic, but having a conference schedule for Notre Dame messes with so much more than just money. It messes with the rivalries that happen every year. It's already, with conference realignment, you're already messing with the rivalry. We used to play Michigan nearly every year. We used to play Michigan State every year. Of course, we'll get USC, Stanford, Boston College. Who else am I missing? Purdue. It's so many rivalries that you have. Conference realignment has messed that up, not just for Notre Dame, but for a lot of other teams too. Look at the Pac-12. Look, somebody come look at the Pac-12. You got 2 teams out there. You've destroyed the Pac-12. You destroyed nearly every OG conference there is because of greed. And it goes for basketball and football. I could sit here on my soapbox all night and talk about this. Greed has ruined sports to a point that it's like, is it even worth watching sometimes? And speaking of which, before we get to this game, I do have a question for you. Speaking of greed, with the NIL deals and everything, do you think it's going to come to a point that the Ivy League schools that have the huge endowments and they got money to spend, do you think it'll come to a point where they apply for, if they don't have Division I status, they apply for Division I status and start throwing money at some of the best players in the country and getting them into school, and then next thing you know, the Ivy Leagues, the Yales, the Princetons, the Harvards are your powerhouses?
No, I think they'll stay in the margins and watch this fiasco, because what's going to end up happening is you're going to end up in some version of maybe 2-3 conferences where it's like 20 teams in a conference and you battle it out that way. You'll have them play like 3 non-conference games, and then they'll play non-conference games against teams in their conference, and then that's why you have the ability, or they'll have the ability to take on teams. So you'll see like the Big 2 or the Pac-2 or whatever is left of that, they'll get absorbed by a conference. The Big 12 will probably get absorbed as well. Or I think the Big 12 has enough money that it could possibly be the third. But I mean, we're getting way ahead of ourselves right now. Let's get back to Texas A&M and LSU.
All right, let me get to these comments real quick.
Go ahead.
Perry said NBC is the real reason why Notre Dame is Indy. When that contract is in jeopardy, they'll make a conference choice. I hope that contract's never in jeopardy. Ivy League, nope. Just thought I'd ask that. I wanted to throw that out to the room. And their money is not based on athletics. No, it's not. It's based on education. And all right, Texas A&M at LSU. This is number 3 versus number 20. Midnight Rider. What you got?
This starting of the year, this quarterback battle was Nussmeier is the better of the two, and Marcel Reed is the guy that we're trying to figure out what he is. Well, we fast forward to now, and Marcel Reed look like he's the constant, and we know what this kid is. He's a good quarterback, and Nussmeier gives us or leaves us with things to worry about. Like, can he be consistent? Can he take the easy throws? Can he take the profit? And the problem is he doesn't take the profit. So that's where the whole mess begins, and then that's where it ends. And poor Brian Kelly, I feel so bad for Brian Kelly. I feel so bad for Brian Kelly. I mean, I just feel so sorry for him and his family. Him and his family. I just feel bad for him and his family that they're going to struggle. They're going to lose 3 games this year, maybe 4. But, I feel so bad. So I got Texas A&M winning this ball game. I'm going to say 27-17.
I love it. And I love when you talk about his family.
I mean, his family is so important to him. He done left Notre Dame and went down to LSU because his family just needed somewhere to be and find a home. You know what I'm saying? He wanted the sanctity of LSU, baby. So his family.
I'm gonna tell you something. I'm not even holding a grudge anymore, because you know why? I've been more excited about Notre Dame football under Marcus Freeman than I ever was under Brian Kelly. Just gonna put that out there.
Obviously, you can see I'm out here. I'm bag lady with this grudge. Yeah, you have to call Tyrone and help him come get his shit, because this grudge will be held. I will hold this grudge tightly.
Go ahead and tell him.
The rigor mortis is set in on how tight I'm gonna hold this grudge against Brian Kelly.
Go ahead and pick up the phone now and call him. Look here, Brian. Yeah, I'm getting tired of your shit. You ain't never win me nothing. JoJo checking in. She said this mess is out of control and ridiculous. It's taking the fun out of it. I don't want to be the old man saying get off my lawn, but
nah, man. Yeah, we're gonna be in something so different in a world where the thing about it is, you gotta think about it. We lived the life, the shelf life of college football and how they predict championships. We've gone from, the next morning, if you number 1, you're the national champion. Then we went to having computers settle this thing and figure it out. And now if you're 1 and 2, you're in a championship bowl game. Now we've gone to a 12-game playoff. I know for sure it's going to be 16. I don't know if it's next year or the year after. But we're going to have 16. Because TV is going to make them, it's going to be either ESPN and CBS or CBS and Fox. And I think the way they're going to run this is because they got 4 networks, because I think NBC will get in on the TV deal. It'll be NBC, ESPN holding like a section of games. Maybe it's 2 games on the first day. And then that night games will be handled by Fox and CBS. So that'll be your 4 first-round games in a 16 on one day, or maybe you gotta do 8. So you gotta figure it out somehow. But I'm telling you, they're gonna make this a money grab. And what we know of college football when we were growing up, those days are dead. The thrill is gone. You know what I'm saying?
All right, BB King.
The days that we watch college football are going away as Charlene.
They're not coming on home?
Nope.
Okay. Well, in that case, I mean,
let's break and hit the 10 minutes for the joint.
Yeah, because you picked a fine time to leave me, Lucille. All right, let's take a break. We'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, you just watched the mothership of the station, baby. It's the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network. The show that we showed you the intro to is the WrestleManiacs. That appears at 9 p.m. on Saturdays. If you ain't got a base and you ain't got a root, then you ain't got nothing that's going to provide you fruit. And the mothership, baby, provides the fruit and the basis of this station, baby. So with that being said, I'm going to pass this on to my man, the big guy, KG, and we're going to talk about this game tonight. Not tomorrow. Tomorrow's too far away. Yesterday has already happened. What we talking about is right now, young fella. What you got for me right now, young fella?
Let's do it proper.
Right now, it's all we got. You know what I'm talking about? The greatest opportunity in the world is found in today. You understand that? We don't even know what yesterday got for us. You know what I'm talking about? Because it's already gone. Tomorrow, too far away. What about right now? What about right now? Huh? Would you give it all up for me right now? I got you. Huh? Let's go then.
There it is. Vikings are visiting the Chargers out in L.A. SoFi Stadium. Chargers are 3-point favorites. Over-under is 44.5. Midnight Rider. What you got on this, man?
Oh, so what I got is we got Carson Wentz starting a football game, and they're playing a game against a team that don't have any tackles. Just gonna be weird because in San Diego, I'm sorry, Los Angeles. I called them San Diego on accident because they rocking the dark blue unis tonight. Oh, I get LaDainian Tomlinson, stiff arm and Ryan Clark vibes from these jerseys. Then they got the numbers on the side, which is a little bit different. Takes you back to the days of Wes Chandler and Kellen Winslow and what is my dude's name? The dude that played at New Orleans running back,
Chuck
Muncie. Yeah, Chuck Muncie. There we go. I knew it was something Munn. I couldn't remember the last part of it. James Brooks ended up in Cincinnati towards the end of his career. I think of those days. I think of younger days. I ain't gonna go nowhere else with that. I could take it somewhere else. Yeah, that's what the kids. That's all that needs is tell me how you mean. Oh man, all right. Let's make the world go round. So Vikings Chargers. I'm gonna take the Chargers in this ball game. I think their offense is dynamic enough, and I think Harbaugh will try to tighten this game up a little bit. I think he's gonna muck it up with some 12 personnel, maybe even some 13. Get a back and 3 tight ends on the field. Make it very Harbaugh-ish. Because then he can ask them at the end of the ball game, who's got it better than us? And they'll all respond, nobody. So I think Herbert gets out and does his thing because they'll control the passing game. You got Ladd McConkey. They call it third and Keenan when I was watching the mic'd up session. And the other part of this is, why do I have faith in the Chargers? Because I don't believe in Carson Wentz. I just can't. I mean, I can try. I can be a positive motivator, but it ain't gonna help his life at all. You know what I'm saying? It's a struggle. It's hard times. Hard times when you're dealing with Carson Wentz as your starting quarterback. But he's kept them afloat. So I got Chargers winning. I'll actually take the -3 because I think it's gonna be like a 8 or 9 point ball game. So I can see this being a 27-17 type of thing. So probably more than 10, more so 10 points. So 27-17 Chargers, and I think that keeps me just below the number. So we're gonna be under because we're gonna have 44 and not 44.5. We will miss out on the hook. Take it away, KD.
Well, after the showing that the Vikings had last week against the Eagles, you can't keep coming down.
Right.
And you drive all the way downfield and you're coming up empty. You're not even getting 3. And then sometimes when you're playing against a high-powered offense, and it seemed like the Eagles kind of found their stride along with offense and defense. They played very good complementary football last week. You can't just kick field goals. You got to put up 6. You can't put up 3. You got to give up 6. And then one thing that Kevin O'Connell has to remember, he has to stress this to his team. And he definitely has to stress this to Carson Wentz, because Carson Wentz old enough to know this, but you got to stress it. You can't go out there and throw pick sixes, because they score more points than us. We're not going to win.
Ho. Say that one more time. If I'm trying to get the language right, if they score more points,
if they score more points than us, then we're not going to win. We lose the game. They score more points.
Is that Nietzsche or is that Plato?
I believe it's Confucius.
Okay.
But I mean, it should be common sense. You can't go out there and I'm speaking on the Vikings. You can't go out there 3 and outs, and then you got your defense on the field. They get off the field. You come back out there, you go 3 and out again, and it's another punt. And the defense back out there. You gotta you gotta take the pressure off the defense and put the pressure on you. So you need long, sustainable drives where you're putting up 6. And I got a philosophy. If your defense is playing lights out, off break, all you need to do is score 10 right there and then let the defense lock it down. The next time you get the ball, you just try to keep putting up points every drive after that. But you got to let the defense hunt. For the Chargers, Justin Herbert is an absolute beast. People were writing him off, calling him a bust. And I was like, how the kid a bust if he's working with his second coach or his third coach? He didn't play under Anthony Lynn, did he?
Yeah, he came in under Lynn.
He came in under Lynn.
And then he got Harbaugh.
So second coach.
Yeah.
All right.
And the only problem that Lynn's teams had was their special teams stunk. And they didn't have the kicker. Now they got Cameron Dicker the kicker. And they've been much better ever since.
But even when you don't have tackles, so you know what you got to do if you don't have tackles, right?
Yeah.
You inside handoffs all day long.
No, you run the ball. I think they can still run great. I think the problem is, or the thing is going to be the fact that you got to pass protect. And
that's why I say inside handoffs.
But our boy Brian Flores is known to do some exotic blitzes and things of that nature. So that's where it could get interesting.
Let me explain something to you.
Go ahead. Explain what.
You talk about exotic blitzes. If you've ever watched a Greg Williams, and that's Greg with 2 G's, if you ever watched his defense, then you see exotic blitzes. I'm not taking anything away from Brian Flores, but Brian Flores is the epitome of effective, because he's effective because he lives by the motto, keep it simple, stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that he's not complex. No, he keeps it simple, but it confuses the hell out of you because you think it's going to be this whole complex scheme, and all of a sudden it's like, damn, he got home with something basic because you're not expecting it. Mark my words. Brian Flores will have a head coaching job in the next 2 years. I wouldn't be surprised if he went back to Miami and turned Miami around.
That's not happening.
No, it's not. But I wouldn't be surprised that. And
that bridge got burned, boy. That was Usher. Let it burn. If Let It Burn ever needed a real life scenario, that's the head coaching job for Brian Flores in Minnesota. I mean, in Miami. That thing gonna burn.
Now, okay, let me ask you a question. You say let it burn Usher. Are we talking Usher? Or are we talking
we doing the whole thing
to the middle of the street?
The whole thing where he doing the whole thing, patting this. Yeah, you gotta get all that in. Yeah. Okay. I ain't mean to break that on y'all. I apologize. You know what I'm saying? I know it's provocative.
But it gets the people going.
Here we go.
I'm looking at the running backs for the Chargers. They got Hassan Haskins, Kamani Vidal, and Scott Matlock as a fullback.
Yep.
You're gonna have to go running back by committee and just go.
No, I think Vidal gets the bulk of the carries, and then they'll bring Haskins just to kind of let him get some rest or whatever.
Yeah. But see, I was saying that running back committee because I don't right now not having. I mean, when you say no tackles, are we out on Joe Alt because he looks to be healthy?
No, he was I know he's had the high ankle sprain. I thought the last thing I heard earlier today was that he was out, but unfortunately, I haven't seen the ticker because my computer is like kind of writing away where the ticker would normally be. So I haven't been able to see what's going on the bottom of the screen for the game. So I haven't seen if he's active or not tonight. The rumor was he was supposed to be inactive.
No good.
The good thing is if you're what's his name, Aaron Jones, running back owner, he's available tonight. He's playing. He's got the start. So
we talked about Haskins. Haskins is out tonight.
Okay.
So Vidal is going to get the bulk of the carries. Alt is questionable. So, but high ankle sprain is not something you get over readily. So,
yeah, but he's about 4 to 5 weeks into the process. So he's probably coming to the point where
he can't get over that fast either.
Huh?
High ankle sprain, that's the high ankle sprain is the inside of the ankle.
Here we go, Dr. KG.
Yeah, it's the inside because when you get a regular ankle sprain, that's
hold on. Now coming up, Dr. KG. This is Dr. KG giving you live injury update information. Go ahead.
When you got an ankle sprain, and we already went over what a sprain, a strain, and a tear is. When you have an ankle sprain, a regular ankle sprain, that's when your foot is flat, it turns to the inside, and you kind of walk on the outside of your ankle. Then I see you, BJ. We getting ready to wrap this up. But hold on, I'm explaining something. The high ankle sprain's on the inside of the ankle, and it's a little bit harder to get over, and it's a little bit harder to get around, and it takes longer to heal for some odd reason. So, if you've been 3 weeks into it, sometimes it takes months to heal. To be honest, so just a thought.
Well, it looks like our parent came out and told us the street lights was on, so I think we gotta go.
Yeah, I don't want to go in the house.
One more drive, boss. One more drive.
Oh man! Final thoughts before we get it up. We get out of here.
Just keep your ears open because this case with the gambler thing is about to be wild and live, and I think you want to see some names in this that I don't think they're going to be indicted, but because they gave up information, they'll be part of the case, but they probably won't get the suspensions for the gambling because they were just saying, hey, I know tonight, KG got a hip flexor. It don't look good. He probably going to give it a try, but I don't think he's going to make it a whole game. So take his unders tonight. Because that's what it sounds like a lot of these conversations are, is guys saying, hey, I know, say, Benny Blanco from the Bronx. He calls over, asks, how LeBron's hamstring doing. And the next thing the guy's like, yeah, LeBron's hamstring a little tight. I think he's going to go tonight, but I wouldn't expect him, to play all game. So I'd take his unders tonight. That's what a lot of this sounds like, is like guys asking questions and getting key information. And yeah.
Mm-hmm. We referenced the last Boy Scout earlier. I'm going to reference it again. Jimmy Dick said, what do you think they put out the injury reports for? It's so the bookies know who to take bets on.
Yes, sir.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we getting out of here. He said, run VJ's numbers versus Cooper's for Jack.
Come on, don't do that. We already know that VJ had the better night.
Oh, yeah.
We already know that.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, but sometimes, like the problem I have being the exquisite and very dedicated and very on point podcaster that I am is, I mean, I do dope shit and I say right shit a lot of times. So I mean, I can't help this, you know, Perry. It's a curse. It's a lot that God put on me. You know what I'm saying? He placed all this great sports knowledge on these shoulders.
So by you being a good teller of the future and doing dope shit, does that make you a prognosticator?
Nah, that sounds too exotic, too fancy, too
All
provocative. Right. And you know what happens when it's provocative?
Oh, you got to get the people going.
Yeah, it is.
So we got to get going.
Get us out of here because we can do this all night. The bits. Oh my gosh! I hope Maddie goes back and watches this.
Perry said against who?
The bits. We're not doing this, Perry. We're not doing this right now. We're not doing this.
Well, kickoff's here. We got to go.
BJ said we got to go. We got to go.
We got to wrap this thing up. So for the Midnight Rider, I'm the big guy, KG. The Gentleman Jack was on special assignment tonight. We will see you guys Saturday. So until then, we out of here.
Peace.